Not everything that has come out of Disney Star Wars has been a complete dumpster fire. One of the best things to come out of the Disney era of Star Wars is the anthology series Star Wars Visions. And I am not seeing anybody talk about this news that broke a couple days ago. And I'm actually thinking it's because of the news of Gladiator 2, Moana 2, and Wicked all coming out this Thanksgiving weekend. So this just simply fell through the cracks. Star Wars Visions is renewed for a third season at Disney Plus. This news coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Disney and Lucasfilm confirmed there will be a third volume of the popular animated anthology series. Disney and Lucasfilm have revealed the animated anthology series Star Wars Visions is coming back for a third volume in 2025. The news was announced on the first day of Disney's 2-day content showcase event in Singapore. Volume 3 of Visions will return to Japan with 9 new animated shorts from anime studios in the country. The Japanese studios involved include David Production, Kamikaze Duga Plus Anima, Kinema Citrus, Polygon Pictures, Production IG, Project Studio Q, Trigger, and Wit Studio. When it debuted, and here's the part of the article that I do agree with. When it debuted in 2021, Visions was a bold creative choice by Lucasfilm as it was a collection of non-canon animated shorts created by different Japanese animation studios and featuring different animation styles. The lack of restrictions led to wildly imaginative interpretations of the Star Wars mythos that proved incredibly popular with fans and critics alike. And let's not pretend... Okay, Star Wars Visions is not the first of its kind. The very first thing that pops to my mind was the Animatrix, where one of those animated shorts led into The Matrix Reloaded, but every other short in the Animatrix collection that came out, I believe in 2003, was a bunch of different Japanese animation studios, getting together and doing like a quick short on their interpretation of The Matrix. And again, all but one of the shorts was canon. With Star Wars Visions, none of the shorts were canon. And this is honestly what Disney should have been doing with the Star Wars movies post Episode 9. Stop trying to tie everything back into the Skywalker saga and actually move on from it. And Star Wars Visions was their way of doing it. They basically just go to these anime studios, they go to these animations, because I know for season 2, the second season, going down into this article, I was correct that season 2, volume 2 of Visions that was released in 2023, they went to more international animation studios. Like Aardman did a short. They're based out of the UK. Aardman famously did the Chicken Run movies. Also did Flushed Away, Wallace and Gromit. El Giri from Spain did a short. Cartoon Saloon from Ireland. Punk Robot from Chile. Studio Mirror from South Korea. Studio La Cachette from France. 88 Pictures, an Indian animation studio. I am going to mispronounce this name in advance, and I do apologize. Dart Shitajo from Japan, along with Lucasfilm and Triggerfish, based out of South Africa and Ireland. But still, you have this collection of animated shorts where they're basically like, okay, you know what? None of this is canon. Just do whatever the hell you want within the Star Wars universe to a degree, but make your own version of Star Wars. And if we look what they're doing with The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka and all of these other live action shows, how many of these shows are basically justifying their existence under the guise of all roads lead to Jake Skywalker? Every live action series is tying back into that sequel trilogy to its own detriment. And remember, some of these live action shows are not even connected with each other. Andor is not connected to The Mandalorian. And who knows if Skeleton Crew is even connected to The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, it's such an absolute mess as to like what's connected to what. Whereas when Star Wars Visions came out, they said, okay, you know what? None of this is canon. This is all just a bunch of different animation studios' interpretations of the Star Wars mythos. They're going to do whatever the hell they want. Now, does that mean that every single episode of Star Wars Visions is a banger? No. No, there are some of these Star Wars Vision shorts are definitely much better than others. But it's such a breath of fresh air that, okay, now you've created a thing where animation studios and other filmmakers can play around with the Star Wars mythos. I thought that that's what the Star Wars story movies should have turned into. That was Rogue One and Solo. Obviously, Rogue One focusing on how the on how the Rebel Alliance stole the Death Star plans, and then Solo, a Star Wars story, being a prequel to a Han Solo prequel movie that, if we're being honest, does not need to exist, but still. That's what the Star Wars story movies should have been. They should have just been like small little one-off movies that were smaller budget, so that basically you could have filmmakers do whatever they wanted with Star Wars to a degree, like what they're doing with Star Wars Visions. So, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I do want to end off the video with this. Not everything that has come out of Disney Star Wars has been all bad. The Lego Star Wars specials as well. The Lego Star Wars Holiday Special from 2022. I think it was called Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. That one was pretty good. They also did a couple of others, but still all, you know, and I know that the Lego Star Wars specials can be all over the place, but the Lego Star Wars specials also what am I trying to say before I brain fart? They're operating in the same space as Star Wars Visions, where, you know, the Lego Star Wars specials, basically they will follow whatever they want to follow in terms of canon, and they'll just invent whatever canon they want to invent to suit whatever special that they're making. That's what was so great about the Lego Star. Now, again, not every Lego Star Wars special under Disney Star Wars has also been a banger. There's some are better than others, but the Lego Star Wars specials also predate the Disney buyout. I get that, but still, you know, I also like it's also important to highlight that not everything that has come out of Disney Star Wars has all been bad, because would Star Wars Visions exist if George Lucas still ran Lucasfilm? Probably not, if we're being honest with how much of a control freak he was. And again, that in and of itself is not a bad thing, but to say that Star Wars Visions is on the same level as like Mandalorian Season 3 or Book of Boba Fett level bad just because it's Disney Star Wars, at this point you're just deluding yourself if you believe that.